What's up, guys? Joe Neal here, the guy whose spurs always jingle, jingle, jingle. Here once again to recap UFC Fight Night, Kattar versus Emmett. And overall, this card was just awesome. With it tied 6 other events for the most knockouts in a single event. And there's a lot I could talk about, but I decided to pick 3 things that kind of caught my eye the most. And so with all that out of the way, enough talk. Let's get to the fights. So for the main event, we have Josh Emmett versus Calvin Kattar in a featherweight matchup that does have title stakes on the line. In my opinion, the winner of this was never going to just jump into a title fight, but they would have some implications, title implications is the best word for it, really. And this fight was awesome. First round was a little tentative, which makes sense, though, because Emmett has probably the most power in the division, in one punch. He's got a laundry list of incredible highlights of just him cracking guys and them basically exploding. And Kattar also has a very good counter striking. He is at his best when he's pressing forward, but he can throw the right hand counter, and that can catch Emmett, who has been caught in the past before. But after that round, these guys just started letting it all hang out. Just let it all hang out. Just wow, it was so cool. Emmett definitely had the power advantage, but Kattar had the advantage in the technical striking, as he always seemed to be landing the cleaner strikes, and he was able to, kind of leave his normal wheelhouse once again, just like we saw in the Cagefighting fight, where he would, kind of oh, I'm a boxer, but here I am going to throw a ton of elbows at you and get some spinning elbows even in. And he's really improved a lot with his Muay Thai to kind of add new weapons to his arsenal, and we saw more spinning elbows tonight, or something I wanted to see because they're cool. And he was still doing the fold over elbows like he knocked out Jeremy Stevens with. It was great stuff. And despite Kattar being taller, though, because he was significantly taller, he didn't have that much of a reach advantage. So while his jab was helping him fight long, it wasn't as long as he probably would have wanted, because despite the technical advantage and despite the small reach advantage, Emmett was able to use his, I don't know what to call it, but Yosemite Sam style leap ins to throw a big bomb. He kind of reminds me of Yosemite Sam, the Looney Tune, because he's always kind of hopping, I love Josh Emmett, by the way. I just had to say that. It reminds me of Yosemite Sam. But both guys just kind of banged it out for the last 20 minutes, and it's easily fight of the night for me, and there can only be one winner. Right? As much as I want to kind of say it's a draw, because it was really close for me, the judges did give it to Emmett. It was really close, though. When I was watching it, I honestly could see it going either way, and I probably wouldn't have complained. I literally was sitting there with my best friend, and we were watching it, and I went, I lean towards Kattar, and he goes, I lean towards Emmett. We both went, yeah, okay, that makes sense. We can see each other's point of view. And Twitter seemed a little annoyed by the decision. And I can understand that, because I was leaning towards Kattar, and he did seem to be a little bit better over the whole fight. I'm not upset with Emmett winning. Again, it's a matter of perspective. It is what it is. It's a close fight, really close fight, and I do think this opens the door for an open scoring discussion. That's something I'm really interested in, is open scoring. I don't think we're going to see more stalls than we already do. There's nothing worse than having a guy who's actually down on the scorecards decide to stall when he should have been going. Everyone remembers the Misha Tate, moment with who was it? Brian Caraway. Just coast. Just saying, open scoring would have solved that problem. And after this fight, Josh Emmett called out the winner of Volkanovski Holloway 3, which doesn't sound right to me, but that fight does happen pretty soon, though. So in terms of scheduling matching up, that doesn't seem that bad, because that fight is at 276, which is July 2nd. I don't think they're gonna give him a title shot at all. I think it's more likely they give him the winner of Yair Ortega, or they just give the winner of that a title shot. Sure. But what if I toss in a better idea? What if I play matchmaker? And I lobby for them just giving me the matchmaking job, because they know I would do a really good job. They know that. I don't know why they haven't returned my calls, but But why not give Josh Emmett Arnold Allen? Like, Arnold Allen is tied Volkanovski for the highest current winning streak, and he's looked amazing in this run. I think we need a number one contenders match between those two guys. I think that makes perfect sense to me. And though for Kattar, not really sure, because to me, I don't think his stock drops at all with this fight. It was really close, and again, a lot of people it seems like majority of people think Kattar should have won, but it was close. Like, it was a really close fight. It felt like they were basically equal, and I say Kattar slightly, but whatever. I think he can take on the loser or the winner of Yair Ortega, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Even he could even take the loser of the championship fight, which could be a Max Holloway rematch. It could be a Volkanovski fight, and so I don't really know about that, because I kind of go, I don't know if I want to see him matched up against those two killers, but I think having him somewhere, and I don't think Arnold Allen should fight Kattar at this point. I think Arnold Allen should fight a guy who's right there ready to contend. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think his stock dropped at all in this? Because I personally don't. Let's get on to the co-main event, which was Tim Means versus Kevin Holland. It was a welterweight matchup, and I want to talk about this for a couple reasons. This fight was a pretty sweet matchup. We knew these guys were just going to throw and have fun out there, and that's what they did. It was great. Holland was able to use his really crisp boxing, and, the veteran savviness and the toughness, the really good chin from Tim Means was coming through. And in the first round, I kind of leaned towards Tim Means winning it. He got some takedowns real quick, real easy, it seemed like. He was getting these takedowns. Kevin Holland's takedown defense still doesn't look great, but his boxing did look great, and he was able to get up pretty quickly. And the boxing, even though I scored it for Tim Means, I felt like near the end of the first round, Kevin Holland's just slowly starting to build momentum, and he makes it a close round. Okay, and he had the momentum, was starting to head in his favor. Second round, he just takes that momentum, and he goes, I was building upon it. It's all mine now. And he's landing crisp shots to the head. He's getting some good body work going in, and eventually he hurts Means. Means kind of goes for a takedown. This time Holland stuffs it, and he just, I expect the killer instinct to show up here, because Kevin Holland, despite how people feel about him, has a great killer instinct. He hurts you, probably over, and because he's smart, and he's got that, kind of shark sense, blood in the water type thing going for him. And I expected him to just start throwing all the leather at him. And no, he snatches a Darce choke and gets it quick. I was really like that. Wasn't really expecting that. I always forget he's a black belt under Travis Lutter. The Michael Jordan of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, according to Mike Goldberg. I love that line. No hate on Mike Goldberg. But but this is a great performance, I thought. I like Kevin Holland, so it could be a little biased here. And I'm willing to accept that, but I really like the fact that he kind of toned down his trash talking, but he was still really fun in there. I like his trash talking, don't get me wrong, but it just kind of got to be a little too much. The Brunson and Vittori fights, the Brunson fight especially, I'm just like, dude, you're making me not like you. It just doesn't work. But he was still really fun in there, because in 2020, he was the hero of the UFC in my mind. And he was really fun. Talking while he's in there, having fun, and he still has that. He doesn't need a trash talk to have that kind of fun. I like this a lot. It's a great performance for me. So finally, I want to talk about Adrian Yanez and Tony Kelley in the case of punishment matchmaking. I was looking really forward to this fight because I'm super hot on Adrian Yanez, and this is the weirdest matchmaking in the world to me. Tony Kelley is 2-1 in the UFC, and his one loss is to Kai Kamaka, who isn't in the UFC anymore. He didn't have a ton of hype on him at all, really. And he was pitted against 5-0, 6-0 if you count the Contender Series, Adrian Yanez, who is white hot. Why? Oh, wait, that's right. Tony Kelley said in the corner of Andrea Lee some very, very stupid, this is the best way I can describe it, just idiotic stuff about Brazilians. And then when people tried to call him out for saying something stupid and offensive, he basically called us dumb for trying to call him out on his behavior. So I guess this fight was like a way to punish Kelley, Tony Kelley. And I'm weirdly all right with this brand of justice. So out the gate, both dudes came out aggressive. And Yanez clearly has a better technique, but Kelley was being really aggressive and he was mixing up his kicks and elbows pretty well. Or not elbows, but knees, excuse me. Kicks and knees to kind of disrupt the boxing stylings of Yanez. And there was a gnarly headbutt, accidental or not, doesn't matter, because it didn't cause a stop to the action, weirdly enough. But good headbutt, just went, landed, and it cut Yanez around here on the bridge of the nose, maybe even like on the eyebrow. I couldn't see exactly where it was. And after that, it kind of like changed like a new shift in tone for Yanez. Yanez was being aggressive, but then he started kind of letting Tony Kelley make his own bed. And what I mean by that is he was kind of like almost beckoning him forward and just pelting him with counter shots over and over. Just all over, from the body shots to head shots. And it was really good. Eventually he starts hurting him and this damage is just adding up more and more. The fast combinations from Yanez starts just lighting up Tony Kelley. Great body work, amazing counter shots, and the end is visible for all of us to see at this point. And Kelley does go down, and he is, in my mind, pretty clearly out of it. And Yanez is just smashing him. It's amazing. But it's starting to go on a little too long. And Tony Kelley's starting to kind of fall back because he got kind of stumbled over. And as he's falling back, Yanez kind of pulls him down and begins hitting him more. And then the ref stops it. That's kind of a bad stoppage. I'm never one to blame the fighter, in these situations like this, because they're in that go kind of mode, and you need that ref to kind of bring you out of that mode. And I understand that completely. That's why, I think the super necessary shots people kind of have issue with, I personally don't, because I understand that. I understand, the idea of my job is to go until you tell me not to. I'm a nice guy, but I can't be that nice guy in the when I'm fighting. I kind of need a way to bring myself out of it. I understand that. You got to do what you got to do. But I can fault a ref for not stopping it like that. I mean, he took some punishment, and no one. I don't care. In my opinion, it's simple when it comes to this. No one deserves that, right? No one deserves to take that punishment, no matter what he did. And because if you do deserve that, you wouldn't be in the fight. You'd get fired, if you really deserve that kind of, smashing like that, you'd be fired or blacklisted from any sports promotion in the world. But it was really funny because Tony Kelley did say, I wasn't even out. And Yanez says, no, you were out. And then Tony Kelley tells him, you were out, bro. Very much, you're a towel kind of vibe I got there. Good fight. Great fight, and I think I would say great fight. If you're a fan of technical boxing, check this one out. That's all I got, guys. And there's a ton of great stuff on this card, and I could keep talking about it because this card was great. But I got to talk, I got to cut things down. Be sure to check out next week, as I will be here to recap Arman Sarukian versus Batush Gamrot. I hope I got those names right. Plus, I'll also be on the preview show for UFC 276. So, I'm really excited about that. Also, it's going to be the week of a pay-per-view. You know what that means? Another retro review. I'll be on that too. So, we got a lot of great stuff in the pipe for y'all, and I'm glad to be a part of all of it. Or at least most of it. But this has been Joe with the INC. Thank you for watching.